So there are these three parts. I mean, we start all over again. I carry on. So there are these three paths of how to achieve elevation or going to Krishna. So one is the Karma Yoga, the one is Jnana Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. Among these three paths, Jnana Yoga, the path of philosophical speculation, is recommended for those who are disgusted with material life and are thus detached from ordinary fruitive activities. Those who are not disgusted with material life, having many desires yet to fulfill, should seek perfection through the path of Karma Yoga. See? Two, right? Karma Yoga means to those who want to have a lot of material desires, right? And for those who are detached, they don't want to have anything to do with fruitive activities. If somehow or other, by good fortune, one develops faith in hearing and chanting my glory, such a person, being neither very disgusted with nor very much attached to material life, should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotion to me. So here, karma and jnana spoken by the Lord. But here he said, somehow or other, by good fortune, that means hearing and chanting is much superior. Because when he says about good fortune means what? That means it is something very auspicious, or in other words, the best. You understand? In the Bhagavad Gita, can anyone tell me where it is said that devotional service is more higher than karma and jnana? Huh? Where it says in the Bhagavad Gita that Bhakti Yoga is higher than karma and jnana. You say nobody will learn. Give them a chance. Otherwise, they will never learn. Oh, 6:40 will be finished. Gonna get them on going. Otherwise, they will, sit down here and just, go home. Right? So what did he say? 6 what? Hello? 6 what? 6:40? What is that verse? A yogi here refers to a bhakti yogi. Is better than an ascetic. What is this ascetic? Huh? From Asia. Ascetic means what? Huh? No, ascetic means a yogi, mystic yogi, greater than the empirist. The empirist is jnana yogi, speculator, and greater than the fruitive worker. So here the yogi, bhakti yogi is higher than the mystic yogi, higher than the jnana yogi, and higher than the huh? It's not mentioned, I'm telling you. Why am I giving a class? You see, you don't know, I'm telling you, Bhakti Yogi. Why this yogi is referring to Bhakti Yogi? Then I'll explain also. You understand? So in Arjuna, on all circumstances be a yogi, right? So in this verse here, yogi, transcendentalist. So see why this word yogi is referring to Bhakti Yogi. It is understood in the next verse. Yogi namapi sarvesham markante taratmanah shadavan bhajante yomam same yukta tamo mataha. You understand this? This refers here, many words referring to devotional service. Of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, renders transcendental loving service to me, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. This is my opinion. So here it can only refer to who? Who is this me? Huh? So that means that this refers to devotional service or a bhakti yogi. Right? It's very important purport here in this verse that you cannot do this worship to anything else. You cannot do bhakti yoga to demigods. It's not possible. You understand? There's a purport here you should read. Someone asked me, can I do my bhakti yoga to some demigods? It's not possible. One can avoid worshipping a respectable man or a demigod and can be called discourteous. But one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. See this point here? So bhakti, bhajate can only refer to who? Nobody else. You understand? So this point has to be understood clearly. There are three kinds of method of yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. And of all this, the one that is recommended by Krishna is, you understand? So this is very important. Unless you know this, you may say that, oh, it's all right, it's all the same. No. Why it is not the same? This is why here, today's verse, that you have to give up karma yoga, you have to give up jnana yoga in order to become free from attachment to what is that? All these anarthas. That Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we quote this verse all the time. You know what is that verse? Hello? Yeah, what number? Anya Vilasita Sunyam. So here, Rupa Goswami, he sums it up. You see, it's a very important verse. Anya Vilasita Sunyam, Jnana Karmani Anavritam. You see this verse? Jnana Karma Anavritam. Anukulena Krishnanusilanam Bhakti Uttamam. See? When first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. So this is the qualification and showing that how devotional service is topmost. It cannot have any contamination of karma or and this will see that Anya Bilasita Sunya, without desire other than those of the service of Lord Krishna, without material desires. Yeah? So we have to understand this thing very favorably so that we know why we are doing devotional service. Because only devotional service can free one from all these anarthas in the heart. Yeah? Where it says that only by devotional service all this contamination can become free, or you can become free. Huh? Where it says that only by devotional service you can become free from all this contamination. Huh? Hello? Bhagavad Gita. Hello? Come on. What? 628? What is that verse? Simply say some numbers. I'm not going to chant the verses, I don't have time. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and is friendly to every living entity, he certainly comes to me. See? The devotional service is so powerful that immediately he frees one from all contamination. Devotional service is klesha agni, even for beginners. It means that it reduces or nullifies all kinds of suffering. The word subhada indicates that devotional service bestow all good fortune, and the word Krishna Karshini indicates that devotional service gradually attract Krishna towards the devotion. Actually, this verse is there in the huh? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, yeah, but you know where the full explanation of this verse? Huh? It is not not complete here. So that verse is very important. That gives the breakdown of the whole thing. It is it's not in Prabhupada. This verse is, you know, so here this verse, how do we get to this one? Yeah, I got it, I have a note. How to go to the other note from here? Huh? Common tab. I will open my other note. Huh? So here you can see this verse, Klesa Agni Subhada Moksha Laghu Takrit Sudur Labha. You know, opening.
Close it. No, close it.
So, okay, and anyway, it's getting all this messed up with stuff. So, pure devotional service, as pointed out in the in this verse. What happened? So here, in this verse you can see Klesha Agni Supada Moksha Lakuta Sudurlabha Sandaratma Visheshatma Sri Krishna Karshini Cha. So here in this verse, I mean I will read out. it's it's power of driving out all distresses. Klesha Agni power of driving out all distresses. It inaugurates an atmosphere of auspiciousness, subhada, moksha lagu bhuta krit. It belittles the value of liberation. See, devotional service belittles the value of liberation. See? What should I say? Okay, or pre-open it? I don't want to open it. And but it is very rare to be achieved. Sudurlabha. It is full of transcendental bliss so much so that it attracts even Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead. So this devotional service is so powerful that it gives all this breakdown. You understand? So for anyone who comes to devotional service, then he gets, this other desires gets minimized. Classic example is Durga Maharaj. Yes, Durga Maharaj was attracted for some material desires. So when he practiced and he got Krishna, he saw the Lord, then he said, no, I don't want anything anymore. I'm fully satisfied. So you see how powerful devotional service is. Understand? Karma may depend on bhakti, jnana may depend on bhakti, but bhakti doesn't depend on all these things. You understand? Bhakti is not that must do karma to go to bhakti or must do what? Mental speculation to go. No. Bhakti itself. In fact, there's a verse that says the moment you take up devotional service, then moksha, moksha, kama, artha, moksha, they all are standing at the doorstep waiting to serve the devotee. You know this verse? Mukutta Mukuntanjali. Bhakti, what is that? Yeah, where is that verse? No book, no nothing, no problem. 428:51. What is that? Power. So you see here, the power of devotional service is so powerful. See, this is the verse. This is the verse. Where is it from? If I'm engaged in devotional service unto you, my dear Lord, then very easily I can perceive your presence everywhere. As far as liberation is concerned, I think that liberation stands at my door with folded hands, waiting to serve me and all material conveniences. of dharma, religiosity, artha, economic development, and commerce and gratification stand with her. So you see this from Krishna Karna. So the moment you take up devotional service, then everything just comes up, standing at the what? At the door, waiting with folded hands, how to serve the devotee. So you see how devotional service is so powerful. Understand? As this verse says that you can, once you get moksha, then you give up the process of trying to get moksha. Correct? Once you get your material desires fulfilled, you don't want to go and do something more to, right? But devotional service is so powerful that you cannot give up. In fact, once you get connected to Krishna, then there is no stoppages. You understand? Yeah? That's a little different. If Brahmananda, the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence were multiplied 100 trillion times, it should still not equal even an atomic fraction of the ocean of tranquil bliss felt in devotional service. See how devotional service is so much, it's an ocean, and all these other processes are like drops, you know. You understand? It's so powerful huh, that you see here. Although Sukadev Goswami and the four Kumaras were always absorbed in the thought of impersonal Brahman and were thus Brahmavadis, they were nonetheless attracted by the transcendental pastimes and qualities of Krishna. And therefore, they later became devotees of Krishna. You see how devotional service has the power to attract the Mayavadis, the Brahmavadis, and the karma yogis, everybody. Whereas karma yoga cannot attract the bhakti yogi. The jnana yogis cannot attract the it's not. But bhakti attracts all of them. You understand? Yeah. The minds of the four Kumaras were attracted by the aroma of the flowers offered to the Krishna's lotus feet. Being thus attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna, they engage in pure devotional service. They were actually impersonalists, you know. So when they went to Vaikuntha, the four Kumaras went to Vaikuntha, they cursed the Jai and Vijay, right? Do you know this story? Jai and Vijay were at the gate and they cursed him. And so they did they were very angry. Then at that time the Lord came. When the Lord came, this is not inside, it's outside, because they were Mayavad, they could not go inside, the Brahmavati. So the Lord came, he came to the gate, and then they saw the Lord and they paid obeisances. When they paid obeisances, they could smell the tulsi that was on the feet of the Lord. And just by smelling the tulsi that was on the feet of the Lord, that scent that went into their nostril and it created some kind of a, ecstasy in their heart. So much so that they forgot about their Maya, this Brahmavad thing. They are powerful just by the aroma of the tulsi leaves. You see? And then here another example is when the breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi leaves and saffron to the lotus feet of the lotus-eyed personality of God and entered through the nostrils into the heart of these sages, the Kumaras, they experienced a change in both body and mind, even though they were attached to impersonal Brahman understanding. See how powerful devotional service is. Immediately by seeing the Lord and just smelling the tulsi, there is a change in their mind and okay. So devotional service is, what do you say? You cannot equate it with anything else. By the mercy By the mercy of Srila Vyasadeva, Sukadev Goswami was attracted by the pastimes of the Lord Krishna. Being thus attracted by Krishna's transcendental qualities, he also became a devotee and engaged in his service. So, Sukadev Goswami, you know, right? The moment he took birth, he walked out of the house, right? 16-year-old boy, he just walked out. And the father went running after him, my son. And only the trees echoed the sound. And he was gone. So, of course, Vyasadeva was attached to him. So he wanted to attract him. So he got his disciple to go wherever Sukadeva went and chanted the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Sukadev heard the Srimad Bhagavatam glorifying the Lord, he became attracted. Although he was a liberated soul, not interested in family, this, that, all. But when he heard the pastimes of the Lord, he became attracted. So you see how powerful devotional service is. Being very much attracted by the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, the mind of Sukadev Goswami was agitated by Krishna consciousness. He therefore began to study Srimad Bhagavatam by the grace of his father. You know? So you see how devotional service is so powerful. All the other process, once you get your goal, you can give it up. But devotional service continues on and on and on because it is service to Krishna. Service to Krishna cannot at any time be stopped. Not possible. That's why when you see here in this verse, you see, in the beginning there must be faith. Then one become interested in associating with pure devotee. Thereafter one is initiated by a spiritual master. That was what is spoken by the previous verse. And executes regulated principle under his orders. Thus one is free from all unwanted habits and become firmly fixed in devotional service. Thereafter, one develops taste and attachment. This is the way of sadhana bhakti. The execution of devotional service according to regulated principle. Gradually emotion intensifies. Finally, there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love for God for the devotee interested in Krishna consciousness. So when that's awaken of love, what is that? Prema bhakti. Then the person, he gets attached to Krishna in that 5 relationship. What is that 5 relationship? What is it? Santaras. Huh? What? Rasya. I never heard Rasya. Santaras. Who in order? Santaras. Dasyaras. Huh? Dasyaras and then Sakya and then Vatsalya and finally Madhurya. So this relationship, when the spirit soul gets connected to Krishna like this, then it is an ocean of bliss, Anandam Buddhi Vardhana. So if he's always swimming in that bliss, as now I showed you the verse, millions and millions of times happier, then why would he want to do anything else? He's not interested because he's always in bliss, That is explained here in this verse. Prabhupada quoted this in the Gopāl. Always engage in activities of devotional service. Devotees feel ever increasingly fresh and new in all their activities. Is what? Always what? Happy and Brahmabhuta Prasnatma Nasochite Nakapit Samaham Saru Mad Bhakti Labate Param. See? The word Mad Bhakti Labate Param means what? Topmost. You see that? So here, because he's engaging in devotional service, he's feeling what? ever increasing, fresh, and always new, Nava Nava Ras. You know the word? Nava Nava? So he's feeling so happy. You understand? The all know the super soul within the heart of the devotee makes everything increasingly flat. This is known as the Brahman position of it. By the advocates of the absolute truth. In such a liberated state, Brahma Buddha, one is never bewildered, does not lament or become unnecessary due. This is due to the Brahma Buddha situation. The devotee transcends and he comes to this. When he comes to this position, so here you see, this is what happens. Because my devotees possess saintly behavior and deep intelligence, they completely dedicated themselves to me and do not desire anything beside me. Indeed, even if I offer them liberation from birth and death, they do not accept it. See, this is the position of the devotee. They're not interested in anything else but Krishna. You follow? That's why devotional service, once you get it, then you got the topmost thing. There's nothing more than that. Huh? There's nothing more than devotional service. What more remains to be accomplished for the perfect devotee? After achieving devotional service unto me, the Supreme Absolute, whose qualities are innumerable and who am the embodiment of all ecstatic experience. Nothing more, really. Huh? Hello? You understand? That's why devotional service is the topmost. Huh? In the 11th canto, 11th chapter, Krishna is saying these points. And then Uddhava asks, who are these devotees? Then Krishna explained, the topmost devotees are the gopis. And the gopis, they don't want anything else then? Yeah. See? So once you get devotional service, then your life is complete. Until you come to there, all this jnana and karma and all this thing, maybe some, but they cannot actually purify you completely. This karma and jnana cannot purify you completely as Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga can completely nullify all your material desires. Sanvata, Swakata, Krishna, Punya Shravanam, Kirtanam. Huh? What is that? Andantarasto. Hridaya Andantarasto. Dunati. See, it washes away all these anarthas. So how powerful devotional service. That's why just by hearing and chanting, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his recommendation, you just hear and chant. If you just get attracted to Krishna, your life is successful. Even though you hear it once. Huh? Intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in the association of pure devotees have become free from bad materialistic association, can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. See how powerful this devotional service is. That's why we say, what is that? Navamantra Sadhusanga? Sarvasiddhigam? Why? Just 1/11 of a second you associate it with your life is perfect. Because they're giving you the highest. What is that? Krishna consciousness. That's why this so transcendental, this process. I mean, let's be honest, until we came in contact with Prabhupada, look where we We're making big plans, big building, big bungalow, big car, big beautiful wife. So many nonsense. Yes, correct. But when we come to devotional service, then all this evaporated. That's why there's a saying: if you are interested in all this stuff, don't go and see this boy who's standing in the bank of the Yamuna. Huh? You know the verse? I don't think this is the one, but Adi. Say, this is from Bhakti Rasananda Sindhu. This verse. My dear friend, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friend, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands at the bank of the Yamuna at Keshigarh. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute to his lips, which tremble like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body bending in three places appear very bright in the moonlight. So if you are interested in your material life, then don't come and see Krishna. You understand? You follow? In fact, there's another word. If you are interested in money and asking many things, Krishna says, what? I will take away all that and I will bring you to my lotus feet. 519. Huh? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfilled the material desires of a devotee who approach him with such motive. But he does not bestow benediction upon the devotee that will cause him to demand more benediction again. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter at his own lotus feet, even though such a devotee does not aspire for it, and that shelter satisfies all his desires. That is the Supreme Personality's special mercy. This is the point. Krishna, he wants to give this devotional. In fact, actually, this devotional service is not so easily given. This devotional service is not so easily given. Anything else you want from the Lord gives you. But devotional service, He keeps it confidential. Why? Because by giving devotional service, then He is indebted to you. What's that verse? Hello? This place here, what is it? Bahujanma Kari, what is it? What? Huh? 8. 8 what? 16. The great sage Sukadev said, my dear Maharaj Parikshit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is always ready to help you. He is your master, guru, God, and very dear friend, and also head of your family. Yet sometimes he agrees to act as your family servant or order carrier. You are greatly fortunate because this relationship is possible only by Bhakti Yoga. The Lord can give liberation, mukti very easily, but He does not very easily give one Bhakti Yoga because by that process He is bound to the devotee. Yeah? So you see how this Bhakti Yoga is so transcendental. And if you can get it, that means what? You are the most. And how? Because we are all now getting connected to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see in this verse here, is explain all this thing, and later you go down, that actually this is so difficult. But as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gives freely, you take. You take. Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema, Padayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine, Gaurandishinama. Freely he is giving. This is what? Love for God. That's why this process is, we have come to Krishna consciousness, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are the most fortunate. Very, very fortunate. Understand? It's so sublime. Devotional service is the topmost and it's the highest. And once you get it, it is like somebody was telling me yesterday, the chewing what this hot sugar cane. You know, when you bite hot sugar cane, it burns the lips, you know. You don't want, but because it's so sweet, you don't want to give up. That's the process. It's so powerful. So devotional service is the topmost. There's no other substitute. And devotional service is the only, what we say, process in which you can clean your heart of all material contamination. And no other process is so purifying as Bhakti Yoga. All right, I'm going out of time. Any questions on these points?
This verse can be quoted by Mayavadis. This is why actually Prabhupada wrote the whole book of shielding. Because they say Uparameta Yoga. Once you attain the perfection, you can give up the process.
Yeah, that is if you do not get Krishna. But once you get Krishna, you know, that's why in that verse, Brahma Bhuta Prasnat Mana Sochite Nakani, Mat Bhakti Labate Param. So once you get Krishna, then why you would give up? Your Krishna, as we explained this now, is an ever increasing ocean of always. So that once you get, that's why Prema Bhakti, you know, Prayojana, the goal is to develop Prema. And if, see, Brahmavadis, they don't know who is the Supreme Personality of God. They think it is who? Some Brahman, right? But if you know that the Supreme Personality of Krishna and you have a relationship with him, then where's the question of giving up? Can you give up your relationship with Krishna? Jivere Swarupa Hoy, Krishna de, Nitya, eternally you are servant of Krishna. Where is the question of you breaking that? Yeah, we broke that because why? We are covered by Maya. But when you are out of that Maya, then you're always back to your eternal relationship with. How you can break it? Can you go to the spiritual world there? Will not serve Krishna? Okay? Therefore, Krishna created the Brahma Jyoti. You don't want to serve me, you go there. Understand? And no service. The moment you desire service, you fall down again. See? You understand? In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's word, Mayavade Krishna Re Aparadhi. Because they deny the authority of Krishna. You understand? So this verse here, although they give up the process, but once you are a devotee, you cannot stop loving Krishna. That's not possible. That's why I quoted that verse 11, 20, 34. They are not interested even in the process of liberation. The same point the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, na danam, na janam, na sundarima kavitam, va jagadesa kame, manma janmani janmaniswari bhavatak bhaktiha. I want to be, you know, life after life. I just want to be your servant. Just like a simple example, you are chanting Hare Krishna. Can you stop chanting? Can. Good riddance. Hare Krishna is enough. Finish. That's possible. Enough. Because that relationship with Krishna is our what? our bonding. We are eternally connected to Krishna. So we are reviving that relationship again. So there's no question of giving up that devotional process. That's why Prabhupada in the purport, how many times he says, you cannot stop devotional service, you cannot give up devotional service, right? Makes us the most happy, right? You understand? There's so much so they don't want nothing else but only Krishna. Right? Is it clear? Of course, this point can be elaborated some more many places, but I don't have the time for all that. But anyway, I made my point clear. Right? Devotional service is topmost. Devotional service can purify you from material contamination. Karma yoga and jnana yoga cannot do that. Right? And once you come to devotional service, you will never give it up. Whereas the other process, you may, just like Prabhupada explained in Mayavad, the moment they say they're, Brahman, and then they come down to the platform of doing social work. You understand? But that does not happen with the devotees, because devotees don't come down to do social work. Even they do any work, it is related to Krishna. There's a big difference in this. Understand? That's why Krishna said, Bhaktyamam abhijanante yavan yashmit. Only by devotional service you can understand me as I am. Cannot by any other process. Alright, is it clear? Understood? Huh? Okay, we stop here then. Thank you very much. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.